What's up, guys? It's Monday, officially the first day of break. I hope everyone's having a good time so far. And this is the Pyro Podcast. I'm calling it a podcast. It's more of a video blog, sort of a whatever. I made this podcast for a few reasons. Right now, our chapter is doing a very good job of reaching out through almost all forms of social media. So we have the Instagram, the Twitter, Facebook page. They're all doing very well. I think the one that we're missing is YouTube. My goal is to make a podcast every week or maybe twice a week, and we can put these videos on YouTube, maybe eventually put ads on them, depends on how many views we're getting. I want to make a YouTube channel, and we can have all these videos, all the videos that Kelsey made, and we can make a whole channel. And that's just one more way for us to get our name out there, for people to know who we are, what we're about. Gina this semester has emphasized a lot on Spotlight Brothers of the Week. She's put a lot of emphasis into brothers that are studying abroad right now. The point is that we want to stay in touch with the brothers who go abroad. We don't want them to miss out on anything. I think the same goes during breaks and vacations. So right now it's spring break. We're not going to see each other for 10 days. I think it's a good idea to keep in contact. I want this podcast to become me getting to know some of the brothers and the brothers getting to know me. There are now 77 brothers, and we have 20 pledges, which means by the end of the semester we could have almost 100 people in the chapter. And it's very difficult for me to get to know all 97 brothers. I know that means not all 97 brothers know me very well. I want to make this podcast, people can just kind of know who I am a little bit. Some people think I'm just a grumpy old dude, which is true. There's more than just anger. A lot of it is anger, I'm not going to lie. I'm just grumpy all the time. I think a lot of you know that I have a humor side, and I have a light side also. I think a lot of this is for me to express myself, more or less. I was going to do this in the library, where they have a recording studio, but I mean, I have an ugly voice anyway, so there's no point. So I'm just doing this in my bedroom. Patriot stuff, there are my skis over there. Maybe I'll give you a full tour some other time. Eventually, I want to have more formal ones that maybe last an hour, ones where I have guests on and we can talk about current events, politics, the business world, the science world, what's going on here in Amherst and at UMass. I really don't know where this podcast is going to go, really. At first, like I said, I want this podcast to be a form of communication between brothers. I can bring on a guest, we can talk, and it's just to get to know each other better. I can talk about myself a little bit, any topics there are, music, politics, sports. Speaking of sports, Carly wants to do a March Madness bracket, which I think is a great idea, but I know nothing about basketball. In fact, I kind of hate basketball. I will say college hoop is way better than the NBA. I just don't know anything about it. I've never done a March Madness bracket before. So if anyone watching wants to start that, I'd be glad to take your money. Yes, so this podcast, I have no idea. The next one will be structured more, obviously. This one's kind of loose. This whole thing's just kind of an intro. Other times maybe I can invite a guest from our chapter. We can video someone in from a different chapter. We can have people from other organizations on campus come and talk. Maybe I can invite a professor once in a while. I'm thinking, my vision anyways, I do this once a week, right through the summer, right through my whole presidency. My goal for this week during spring break is to be productive. I have a to-do list for this week, and I'm going to share them with you, and then I'm going to make another video on Friday. Hopefully I can do all of them. Right at the top, laundry. We got to clean the garage. I say we, it's going to be me. I'm going to clean the garage. I got to clean the kitchen. I really got to clean the kitchen. I want to fix my bike. For those of you who don't know, I have a motorcycle. It's got some transmission issues, along with just cosmetic repairs that need to be done. So warm weather's coming, so I want to get that fixed. A bunch of group projects. If there's one thing about Eisenberg I hate, it's the group projects. Also, Brad and myself and Adam and some others, we've been talking about starting a business for DSP. For those of you who haven't been in on the discussion, the idea is that we make a business. It's a totally separate entity from DSPs. That means DSP Brothers can run it and work for it, but it might not mean that. So, we might have like journalism majors. We're really not sure yet. The idea is that we're going to make a online business journal. Being business students, a lot of you probably follow like Bloomberg, some online site where you can get your business news for the week. But the deal with those kinds of websites is that you go on, you click on an article that seems interesting, and the article is this long and it takes you 10 minutes to read the whole thing. Our website, we've all heard the phrase, just get to the bottom line. Just tell me the bottom line, tell me what the facts are. We don't have time to read this entire article. So we're going to summarize it, put all of the summarizations on our website. For example, I would read the article, I would summarize it in like 3 sentences, and then I would post it onto our website. It might not just be business. We might have a politics tab, we might have a sports tab, but it's centered around business and business students. So that's the idea. We're going to get that started. Hopefully I can get the website going by the end of the week. What else? I wrote down listen to music. I listen to rock and roll a lot, and I've never really taken the time to listen to anything else. My roommates who live right there, they listen to, in my recent email, I wrote something like, Kanye's new album was terrible, and it's because I'm sitting here in this room, and I can hear them listening to it in the next room, and it just sounds awful. It just got me thinking, like, maybe it's me, maybe I just need to take the time to listen to it. I went in there, I said, guys, name me your top 10 albums. All the big names, like Jay-Z, and then Kanye albums, and Drake albums. I don't know, maybe I'll learn differently. Hopefully by the end of the week I can listen to some of those albums and maybe I'll have a better appreciation for it. Maybe not. We'll see. So that was on my to-do list. I hope to get all of it done. Other DSP related stuff. Last year, we started coming across the problem of not being an RSO. For those of you who don't know, basically a registered student organization, they have the right to, book rooms and book events on campus, and they have the right to do fundraising events, and even more importantly, there's a budget allocated for all the RSOs, and each RSO gets some money. So if we were an RSO, for example, we could send them a budget for the fall and say we want X amount of dollars so that all of our brothers can go to lead. Or we want X amount of dollars so that we can all get shirts. So not being an RSO is a huge disadvantage for us. Unfortunately, we're not going to be an RSO for probably at least another year. Maybe even more than that. As officers, we've been struggling with it for a long time now. And finally, Melissa and I went to the SGA president's office, and we talked to her. Her name's Shannon. She was great. She was extremely helpful, but at the same time, not helpful at all. She was very honest and open about what the situation was, but there's nothing she can do. Eisenberg is making all the clubs become RSOs, but RSOs need an advisor, and there's not enough money on the budget to hire another advisor. We're just kind of stuck in limbo, not an RSO, but not allowed to be a club, don't have the money, don't have an advisor. Eisenberg wants us to be an RSO, the SGA is saying we can't. The whole thing is kind of stupid. We will be an RSO, but it'll probably be after I graduate, which is kind of sad, but that's okay. Shannon gave us her contact. If we ever, run into trouble booking a room or something, she can help us. So we made a little progress there, but just on the RSO status, we're not going to be an RSO anytime soon. So on Monday, we have the blood drive in Cants. Guys, please, please, please volunteer. I can post, or I can have David post on the Facebook site, the link. Just write in your name. We just need more volunteers. That's all it is. You don't have to donate blood. Every time I try to donate, I just black out. So the last time I did it was like 3 years ago. They tested me for iron and everything. I sat down. I watched the needle and everything. None of that bothers me. Blood doesn't bother me. None of that. I have this huge vein right here. The nurse even said, like, wow, this is going to be really easy to find the vein. I mean, you can just see it. When I was sitting there waiting, I watched people sit down, and it would take 10, 15 minutes for the blood to come out of their arm and to fill up the bag. I sit down, she plugs in the tube, and I black out. And when I wake up, she said the tube was probably in my arm for about, she said like 15 seconds, and the bag was half full. So basically the blood just from my head, and that's why I blacked out. It happens every time. I don't know what to do about it. I would love to donate blood. She couldn't even use, actually she might have used it, I'm not sure. But they really need a full bag, and I can never get there. Maybe I'll try again, maybe not. For now, I'm just trying to volunteer. And you guys should too. You don't have to donate if blood bothers you, if needles bother you, whatever. That's fine. But we need volunteers. Also, next Wednesday, Rachel and the Community Service Committee is going to have a table in the atrium with, I think she's going to have coffee and maybe muffins, just giving it out for free and collecting donations for the Relay for Life team. We have roughly $1,300 donated. Where Rachel works, they said they'll match the donations. So we're really at like $2,600, which has already surpassed what we raised last year. So I think we have a lot of potential to raise a ton of money this year. So anyone who hasn't joined the team yet, please join. Please post on Facebook. Please send out emails, whatever you have to do to collect money. Relay itself is April 9th, I want to say. And you don't have to stay the whole night this year, so it won't be that bad. I think that's it for announcements. As far as this podcast goes, I really don't know where the direction is going to go. If you guys have ideas, I mean, I can sit here and talk in my monotone, nasally voice for a while, but I don't really know what to talk about, what you guys think is going to be interesting. If you just want me to give a tour of my room or something, like, I'll do whatever it takes, but I think you kind of get the idea of what I want this podcast to be. I'll have a guest on each week, whatever, so it's not just me. I'm going to make another video on Friday, and I hope everyone enjoys their spring break. So, see you Friday. So, one more note. I realized that was pretty boring. I promise the next one will be more structured. So I'll have things in mind. I'll know exactly what I'm going to talk about. It'll be less of me just saying, The next one will be on Friday. I don't know if anyone will be home by then, but I'll try to have a guest on. And similar to the idea with our online journal website, I want to get to the bottom line. So I think the formal ones will be longer, but a lot of the informal ones that I make are just going to be real quick, maybe 10 minutes, more for entertainment purposes. I understand that I need to keep some of them shorter, more brief, and entertaining, and then others can be more professional and more formal. This podcast can really go in any different direction or all different directions. I really want your feedback. I want you to suggest things to me. If you want to be a guest on the show, please let me know. That's it. I'm done talking. Have a good break.